Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. We are from University Islam Perlis. We present about ethics in global markets, night labor practices. In this slide, we will learn about challenges, ethical dilemmas, and solutions. Our course subject is business ethics in Islam practices. Before we start, let me introduce you about my members. First of all, we have Nur Ala Izzati, and then Umarul Kolim Roslan, Abdul Rauf, Abdul Hakim, and the last one is Bashir Bala. Introduction. What is ethics in global markets? Ethics in global market is managing cross-border operation with integrity, respecting labor, environmental, and legal standards. In this case, we will focus about night labor controversy in the 1990s highlights challenges in global supply chains. Why does it matter? It is because we will talk about reputation risk, stakeholder trust, and legal compliance. Background. For the industry background, night apparel brands outsource production to countries with lower labor costs. Night operating factories in Indonesia, Vietnam, and China. The products manufactured by subcontractors. The problem that they face are exploitative labor practices and lack of oversight in subcontracted factories. Ethical dilemmas.
Then we will talk about the ethical dilemmas. The first one is exploitation of labor. It is because low wages, unsafe conditions, and long hours. After that, this is accountability. Subcontractors manage factories but night was held responsible. And the last one is culture and legal challenge. It is because lack of consistent labor law in developing countries.
The stakeholders involved.
There have several stakeholders that involved. Number 1, workers, victim of unethical practices. Number 2, consumer, demanding transparency and ethical practices. Number 3, NGO, advocating for workers' rights and exposing violations. Number 4, NICE, balancing corporate responsibility and profitability.
Company response.
There have several responses from the company. First is initial reaction, deny responsibility, claiming subcontractors were independent. Second is the reforms introduced, adopted a code of conduct for suppliers, increased minimum age requirements, and improved factory inspections, joined Fair Labor Association for ethical oversight. The last one is transparency efforts, published annual sustainability and labor reports.
The impact and consequences.
Impact and consequences. On Nike, short-term brand reputation damage, long-term improvement in sustainability and global supply chain practice. On the industry, raising awareness of supply chain ethics. The public scrutiny of Nike's practices brought global attention to unethical labor conditions in developing countries, prompting other multinational corporations to examine their supply chain.
And then setting new standards. Next, reforms such as adopting a supplier code of conduct and collaborating with NGOs sets a precedent for industry-wide practices. Many companies followed suit by implementing ethical guidelines. Other than that, increased monitoring and accountability. NGOs, governments, and customers become more vigilant about corporate practices, demanding transparency and fair treatment of workers across all industries. Lastly, shifting customer expectations. Consumers began to prioritize ethical and sustainable brands, forcing companies to align their practices with these values to maintain loyalty.
Lessons.
First lesson I learned is corporate accountability is critical. Outsourcing production does not absolve a company of responsibility for ethical violations. Multinational corporations must oversee their entire supply chain to ensure compliance with ethical standards. Other than that, is transparency builds trust. Nike's initial secrecy exacerbated public outrage. Companies must communicate openly about their practices to maintain consumer confidence. Publishing regular reports like sustainability reports is a proactive way to address concerns. Last but not least is balancing global standards with local norms. Operating in diverse legal and cultural environments creates challenges. Companies must establish universal ethical guidelines while respecting local laws and customs. This includes understanding the socio-economic realities of manufacturing countries without exploiting them.
Recommendation. The first one, we have developed and enforced a global code of conduct, create clear guidance on labor practice, wage, and workplace safety applicable to all suppliers. Regularly update the code to address. Imagine ethical concern. Conduct regular audits, carry out on announcing, inspection of factories and supplier chain to ensure compliance, partner with independent auditors and NGOs for on-basic review, collaborating with stakeholders, work with workers, union, local community, and NGOs to develop fair and sustainable solutions. Invest in community development support, educational program, healthcare, and instruction in manufacturing region to improve workers' life. Commit to continual improvements. Use new technology to track supply chain active and address issues in real time. Establish feedback mechanism to address concerns raised by employer and stakeholder. Conclusion. The complexity of ethics in global markets. Operating globally requires balancing profit motive with ethical responsibilities, often in regions with weak legal frameworks. The need for proactive measures. Companies like Nike must anticipate ethical challenges and address them before they escalate. Proactive engagement with stakeholders can prevent crises and build goodwill, turning ethical challenges into opportunities. The Nike controversy shows how a company can use ethical failings as an opportunity to become a leader in corporate responsibility. By making significant reforms, Nike improved its practices and influenced the industry. And then, last word from me, ethics in global markets is not just a moral imperative. It is also a key driver for sustainable growth and long-term success. So before we end our video, I hope you all can understand about our topic today and also can give new knowledge and information for you all so you can learn more about ethics in global markets. Thank you for watching our video and see you guys in the next content. Bye bye and Assalamualaikum.